It's time to take a close look at your opener. Listen, the very beginning of your book is the most important thing, and people are not applying the techniques that they know correctly. Hey guys, I'm Scott. I'm the author of Rivet Stone, and I may be just some author, but let me tell you, oftentimes, what are we told about an opener? Right? It's the very beginning of the book. It's the most important thing. Like I've already made this the beginning of this chapter. Like, okay, calm down, brother. You're stumbling. All right, all right. I need you to take a deep breath. Okay, man. All right, good. Are we centered? Good. Let's be productive. You're applying the wrong types of techniques to your opener, right? So oftentimes, and we see this a lot, people will drop the reader at the very beginning, like in the middle of an action scene, right? Because the last thing people want is like, well, it has to be interesting. So like there needs to be conflict because like people are gonna read past page one if there's that. And okay, let's be real. There's a reason that, at the beginning of long videos, there's a little teaser of the most funny and interesting part. There's a reason that the beginning of a story has a hook to like really get the reader's attention, to get a watcher's attention, whether you're talking about movies or a television show. But understand that you don't want to fake your opener. Now, what does that mean? Right now, as I've been in the sort of beta reading sphere, and really you can find this a lot in just not in this exact context, but you'll find people adding unnecessary conflict. You're like, what, Scott? You always say that books need more conflict, and you're right. And there's a lot of different ways that you can add conflict, whether it's completely obvious, but that's the problem. Conflict is getting added in a very obvious way, and it's not impactful to your book, right? If you want to drop your reader somewhere into something, make sure it has some stakes. Make sure that it's even relevant to your plot. I can't tell you how many times I have to see kids sword fighting. I don't care. Like, I get it. It's like, oh, well, I want to introduce, and it's like, okay, well, let's see. I want to introduce characters, right? And, they're kind of, it's a coming of age. So they're like boys, middle-aged, adolescents. And like, oh, well, I don't want, like, how do I start a scene? I guess it could be like sword fighting in a field. Like, no, listen, we can be more creative. And I'm not saying that I'm not a victim to this at all. That's why I'm so passionate about it, is because I can see that in my own works and in my own early drafts. But it's important to understand, if you're not adding conflict that matters, then don't add that conflict. Recontextualize the scene. There's nothing wrong with trying to grip your readers at the very beginning. Do whatever you need to do, especially in this TikTok era. Am I a boomer for? Yeah, no, I'm not dropping this. I can't believe man, I am getting old. That's a shame. That's a real shame. There's nothing wrong with trying to add conflict to hook a reader, but be very critical about what are you using to hook, right? If you're using some sort of random, not even faux conflict, then congratulations. All you've done is just lowered the stakes of your book. All right. So if you're going to apply a lot of these techniques that we see on a whole bunch of different videos, talking about all the different ways that you need to get your readers' attention, to blast them with this, blast them with that, be very critical about whether or not your conflict makes sense to your story. If it's just a little thing that you're bolting onto the side, that ain't it. But hopefully that helped. Give me a like, give me a sub, and thanks for watching.